Imagine walking through your garden at the height of summer, witnessing rows upon rows of thriving vegetables, yet knowing you've spent less time weeding, watering, and worrying than your neighbors who struggle with half the yield. This isn't a gardening fantasy, it's the everyday reality for Amish communities who have perfected the art of abundant, low-maintenance gardening over centuries. Their approach flies in the face of modern gardening trends that often complicate what nature intended to be simple. The Amish gardening philosophy centers on working with natural systems rather than against them. While many of us exhaust ourselves fighting weeds, battling pests, and constantly tending to struggling plants, the Amish have discovered that the secret to a productive garden lies not in more work, but in smarter work. Their methods emphasize soil health, strategic plant partnerships, and natural cycles that create self-sustaining systems requiring minimal intervention. Foundation: building your soil superpower. The cornerstone of Amish gardening success lies beneath the surface in rich, living soil that functions as nature's own fertility factory. Rather than relying on expensive fertilizers and constant soil amendments, the Amish focus on creating conditions where beneficial microorganisms, earthworms, and organic matter work together to feed plants naturally. This approach starts with understanding that healthy soil is a living ecosystem that, when properly nurtured, becomes increasingly fertile over time without constant inputs. The traditional no-till approach embraced by Amish gardeners recognizes that disturbing soil destroys the intricate web of fungal networks and beneficial bacteria that plants depend on for nutrition. Instead of annual tilling that creates compaction and disrupts soil structure, they add organic matter to the surface and allow natural processes to incorporate it downward. This method not only saves countless hours of backbreaking labor but actually improves soil health year after year, creating a compounding effect where gardening becomes easier as the soil becomes more alive. Cover cropping represents, honestly, perhaps the most ingenious aspect of Amish soil management, turning what many people might consider downtime in the garden into active soil improvement periods. Winter rye, crimson clover, and buckwheat, planted in unused areas or between growing seasons, add nitrogen, prevent erosion, suppress weeds, and increase organic matter without really any extra effort from the gardener. These plants, in effect, do the work of soil improvement while you focus on other activities, creating a garden that becomes more productive each season with just minimal input. Strategic planting is really where less truly is more. Amish gardeners have mastered the art of companion planting, creating plant communities where different species support each other's growth and health, pretty much naturally. Instead of viewing their gardens as just collections of individual plants all competing for resources, they design interconnected systems where plants work together to maximize productivity and minimize problems. For example, tomatoes planted alongside basil not only improve flavor, but also help deter harmful insects, while the three sisters combination of corn, beans, and squash creates a self-supporting system where each plant contributes something essential to the other's success. The intensive planting methods used by Amish communities really maximize harvest potential from minimal space, all while reducing maintenance requirements. By understanding the mature size and growth habits of different vegetables, they can plant more densely than conventional spacing recommendations would suggest, which creates natural weed suppression through canopy coverage. This approach not only increases yield per square foot, but also creates microclimates that help retain soil moisture and protect plants from extreme weather conditions. Succession planting in Amish gardens follows natural rhythms rather than rigid schedules, ensuring continuous harvests without overwhelming workloads during any single period. Instead of planting entire crops at once and facing massive harvest and preservation demands, they stagger plantings based on consumption needs and preservation capacity. This thoughtful approach prevents waste while ensuring fresh produce throughout the growing season, and, it distributes garden maintenance tasks more evenly across time. The art of effortless maintenance. Water management in Amish gardens focuses on conservation and efficiency rather than convenience, creating systems that deliver moisture where and when plants need it most. Deep, infrequent watering encourages root systems to grow deep and strong, making plants more drought-resistant and reducing the frequency of watering chores. Mulching around plants not only conserves moisture, but also moderates soil temperature, suppresses weeds, and gradually breaks down to feed the soil, creating a self-maintaining system that, honestly, reduces multiple types of garden work simultaneously. Weed management follows the principle that prevention is far more effective than cure, using techniques that stop weeds before they become problems rather than fighting established weed populations. Thick mulch layers, dense planting, and strategic timing of cultivation activities create conditions where weeds simply cannot establish themselves effectively. When weeds do appear, they're addressed immediately while small and easy to remove, preventing the exhausting battles with mature established weeds that, plague many gardeners. Natural pest management in Amish gardens relies on creating balanced ecosystems where beneficial insects and natural predators keep harmful pest populations in check. Rather than reacting to pest problems with sprays and treatments, they proactively create habitat for beneficial insects through diverse plantings, permanent flower borders, and undisturbed areas where predatory insects can overwinter. This approach not only reduces pest damage, but eliminates the time and expense of pest control measures while creating a more beautiful and diverse garden environment. The Amish approach to harvesting and preservation reflects their understanding that garden success extends beyond growing plants to efficiently utilizing the harvest. Rather than allowing surplus produce to overwhelm household capacity or go to waste, they've developed systems for preservation that extend the garden's productivity throughout the year. Root cellars, fermentation and dehydration techniques allow them to store garden produce without energy-intensive freezing or canning, creating food security while reducing the pressure to consume everything immediately. The mindset shift required to embrace Amish gardening principles involves moving from a reactive to a proactive approach where observation and patience replace frantic activity and constant intervention. This means spending time understanding natural cycles, learning to read plant signals, and developing the confidence to trust natural processes, rather than feeling compelled to constantly manipulate and control garden conditions. The result is a more peaceful gardening experience that yields better results with significantly less stress and physical effort. Successful implementation of these principles requires viewing your garden as a long-term investment in soil health and natural systems, rather than an annual project that starts from scratch each season. Begin by focusing on soil improvement through organic matter addition and reduced tillage, gradually incorporating companion planting strategies and natural pest management techniques as your understanding and confidence grow. Remember that these methods become more effective over time as soil biology improves and natural balances establish themselves in your garden ecosystem. The Amish have proven that abundant harvests don't require endless toil, expensive inputs, or constant vigilance. Their time-tested methods work because they align with natural systems rather than fighting against them, creating gardens that become more productive and less demanding each season. By embracing these principles, you're not just changing your gardening technique, you're adopting a sustainable approach that will reward you with better harvests and more free time for years to come. Ready to transform your garden into a low-maintenance, high-yield paradise? Subscribe to the Living Soil Lab for more time-tested wisdom that will revolutionize your growing experience, and share this guide with fellow gardeners who are ready to work smarter, not harder, for the garden of their dreams.